Hey there, Gramps. I'm going to show you the best way I can think of to have you be able to talk your story, and if you make a mistake, to correct it. It might get a little confusing, so that's why I'm making the video, so you can go back and watch it again, or watch a certain part if you forget. So I'm going to pretend like I'm you now, and I'm going to start recording, and the story I want to tell is that the cow went over the mountain, and I want to say, how now, brown cow, and then I want to say the cow can be used for milk, can be sold for money, or it can be used for food. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording, and I'm going to make a mistake. Instead of saying, how now, brown cow, I'm going to say, how now, blue cow. So I'm going to start recording. The cow went over the mountain. How now, blue cow. I'm going to hit stop, and I say, damn, I made a mistake, because I wanted to say, how now, brown cow. So now this could be, 10 minutes of recording. I'm just using a quick example to give you an idea. So the best way to correct your mistake is we're going to go ahead, and we kind of know the mistake's near the end, right? Because we just stopped it. And one thing I was going to point out is you see each one of these bubbles here, kind of like a little bump. Usually each one of those is one word. So you can kind of select each bump and then select like you would in Word, click, drag, and select, and then let go. Like you would selecting a word in a Word file or something. Then we're going to go ahead and hit play, and it's just going to play what I have selected. It's not going to play anything else. Okay, so if I select another bubble, that's probably another word. Now. So that's now. This should be cow. Cow. Okay. So you can kind of figure out where you make the mistake. So if I select this here, if I select this whole phrase, we should hear how now blue cow. How now blue cow. Okay. So now we know we have that whole sentence selected that we made the mistake on. The best way to do it is to actually delete the whole sentence that you made the mistake on and re-say that sentence. You don't want to try and just delete one word, because it starts, when you re-record, you'll find out that it will sound like you changed your voice all of a sudden. The best way to do it is you want to just delete the whole sentence. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to start recording again. How now, brown cow. I'm going to stop. So now when I go back and listen to it, I'm going to hear, the cow went over the mountain. How now, brown cow. And you can hear it sounds a lot more fluid because, I'm recording that whole sentence over. One other thing to note, too, is you can see how this line is very narrow on both sides. That's a pause where you didn't say anything. If you wanted to remove some of that, you would do it just like as if you made a mistake. You'd select the pause. And you'd play it to make sure you have what you want to delete. So you can hear that I'm not saying anything. So I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to hit delete. Alright? So now you just removed a little bit of a pause. So, just for future reference. So now I want to continue on my story. Well, with this program, it works a little weird. Instead of continuing on this same audio track, it's going to make a new audio track below it. And that's fine. It's going to sound just as if you were continuing with this one, except it just makes a new segment. There's a reason for that, but nothing that you would use it for. But I'll explain it in a minute. So you're going to click on where you want to continue at. So this is the end of your file, right? And this little purple arrow means end, and this one means beginning. So if you're say in the middle of the file or something, and you're like, damn, I want to be all the way at the end, you can just click on this little purple arrow, and it'll bring the cursor all the way to the end here. And you should use that when you start recording again. And then you're just going to hit record. So now you can see, here's your cursor. You're going to hit the little arrow to make sure the cursor's at the end where you left off. I'm going to hit record. How now, brown cow. The cow can be sold for money or gas. Damn, made him another mistake. Okay. I want to go back, and I did that on purpose so that we can do this process again. So if you want to see it different. So I'm going to hit play. The cow went over the mountain. How now, brown cow? The cow can be sold for money or gas. Okay, so you heard it sounded like it was one track, and we removed our mistake. So let's remove for gas. Or gas. Okay, so I selected... In fact, I want to go farther than that. I want to remove that whole part that I did. The cow can be sold for money or gas. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select it. We're going to hit our delete key like we said before. Now you can see our cursor here. Alright, I'm going to hit the little purple arrow to go to the very end to make sure I'm right where I left off. I'm going to hit record again. For food, for gas, or for money. And in fact, I didn't say what I wanted to say, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Oh, and if you press the little X in the top left corner, that removes an audio track. Okay. So I'm going to press my purple arrow, make sure I'm at the end, and say, the cow can be sold for money, for food, or for milk. I'm going to hit stop. So now you can see I'm adding quite a few audio tracks, which is fine. When you go to save this, it will combine all these audio tracks. But this will allow you to remove your mistakes and have it sound very fluent as if you never stopped. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to start from our very first one up at the top here. Alright? I'm going to hit play. The cow went over the mountain. How now, brown cow? The cow can be sold for money, for food, or for milk. So you can hear I recorded exactly what I want to record, even though I have 3 separate audio tracks. I hope this helps, Gramps. If you have any questions, just call me. I'm going to make a few other videos to show you some other stuff. So.